Welcome to the first episode of our Ready, Set, Holiday series. If you've ever felt like the holidays just sneak up on you and suddenly you're drowning in to-dos, last-minute shopping, and let's be real, stress, this series is for you. I'm here to help you flip the script this year. And in today's episode, we're diving deep into the real price of holiday chaos. We're talking emotional tolls, family dynamics, and yes, even your wallet. Stick around and you'll walk away with a fresh perspective and actionable tips to bring more intention and ease into this year's holiday season. If that's what you need more of in your life today, you're in the right place. Let's simplify things together. I'm Erin Christopoulos, a mother of two and teacher-turned-mom strategist who puts the pieces of mom life together so you don't have to. I get that you're short on time and don't have the capacity to figure out everything on your own, which is why I'm here to help you get clear on where to put your focus while protecting your time and energy so you can actually enjoy these years with your little ones. I'm ditching the overwhelming and unrealistic one-size-fits-all tactics and replacing them with an approach that's practical and personal, because I believe your family is one of a kind with its own qualities and values that deserve an adaptable approach, offering support and encouragement where you need it most. From honest conversations and mindset shifts to practical tips and sustainable strategies, consider this your customizable guide to mom life. With the tools and resources you need at your fingertips, you'll finally have the confidence and clarity you need to bring more intention and ease to everyday life so that you and your family thrive. This is the Mom Life Handbook. Now, usually for my survival stack, I'm sharing products and services that I invest in to help simplify mom life, to make every day just a little bit easier. But instead, I thought I'd share with you today a small resource that I've created myself because I feel like it's going to be what really moves the needle for you as we enter the last quarter of the year and start thinking about that holiday season. Inside my free broadcast channel on Instagram, you'll find that I'm sharing 2 to 3 timely tips or strategies every week that you can take action on immediately. The goal here is to help you progressively make meaningful change without feeling like you're overwhelming yourself. Instead, we're really looking to simplify in ways that are really intentional and simple. Joining this broadcast channel couldn't be easier. Just head to my account on Instagram at Mom Life Handbook, or I've linked to it in the show notes, and just click on the little icon of a piece of paper and a pencil, and it says the cheat sheet on it. Just tap on that. It's right on my profile, and you can join that channel. And then anytime I drop a new strategy or tip, it'll land right in your DMs, so you won't miss a single one. These are all messages that are under a minute to either read or watch or listen to, and will give you a simple, straightforward idea that you can use right away. I hope that this is a resource that you really come to depend on and that you really can rely on to help relieve the stress this holiday season. So as I mentioned, we are kicking off the Ready, Set, Holiday series today, and I couldn't be more excited. Over the next 3 episodes, we are going to tackle the holiday season head on, starting with today's topic, the real price of holiday chaos. I want us to be real and honest about this. The holidays are coming up, and if you are anything like me, you've got a love-hate relationship with this time of year. I know I love the family gatherings, the traditions, the kids' faces lighting up, the excited chatter that they bring to our house, but the stress that comes with it, the last-minute scrambles, not so much. Today, we're focusing on a mindset that can make all the difference. We're going to dig into the emotional roller coasters, the family squabbles that no one talks about but everyone experiences, and the hit that your bank account takes when you're making those 11th hour decisions. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear understanding of what's at stake if you let the holidays just happen to you. And because you know I'm all about action, I've got a super relatable tip that you can implement today to set the tone for a more intentional, less chaotic holiday season. So if you're ready to ditch the overwhelm and actually enjoy the holidays this year, you're in the right place. And don't forget, this is just part 1 of the series, so you'll want to come back for more insights and strategies. Be sure to hit that follow button or subscribe button if you haven't already, so that the future episodes in this series land right in your podcast library every week. So I've really broken this cost of chaos down into 3 different categories that I just want to unpack with you quickly and help you really consider if it is worth it to you to go ahead and roll the dice, wait until the holiday season hits, and then get a start on things. Or if there are some things that are coming up here that sound familiar that you really don't want to experience this year in future episodes, we are then going to really unpack what you can do to get ahead of that chaos right now in a way that's more sustainable and less overwhelming. So the first real cost of the chaos is the emotional and relational toll that this can really take, not just on you, but on your family. When we're in survival mode and we're really in that last minute planning behavior, so much extra stress and anxiety can come up from having to try to stay afloat. I know that we have all been through hectic holiday seasons or even just busy times of life as a mom, and we've made it through. So there's no denying that you are able to keep up with the busyness of the holidays, no matter what that might look like for you. But the truth is that while you are resilient, I want you to consider if it is worth the emotional cost that it takes on you and in turn your family, when so much of it could just be prevented. I'm thinking of a time where I had to bring an appetizer to a holiday party and I waited to the last minute to figure out what I was going to make. And then I really didn't have time to go to the store, but I went ahead and tried to order the ingredients for delivery, and then the window of time that I wanted it to be delivered in was already booked out. So then I had to go to the store, got home, realized I had forgotten an ingredient, and it was just really stressful. Or the times where we've had holiday parties to go to and failed to book the sitter because we waited too long. And I definitely have waited till the very last minute to order gifts, and that means I'm really down to the wire when it comes to wrapping those gifts, and trying to do that in secret when the kids are already on winter break is always super tricky and stressful. So instead of having to operate in this survival mode, I think that if we consider how planning ahead could prevent these last minute scrambles, it will allow for a more peaceful holiday season. If you're hosting, what ingredients are you going to need? Have that planned out in advance so that when the time comes to actually go grocery shopping, you're not scrambling. You can order those groceries ahead of time, or maybe you can even send someone else to the store to go pick up those ingredients because you've planned ahead. That feeling of just having a plan is so calming and relieves so much of the stress. And then when I think about if you're in that really stressful mode of being in a last minute plan, it really impacts your family dynamics. And I feel like that's especially challenging because during the holiday season, we want to be present and engaged in all of the traditions and all of the magic that happens, all the wonderment and the awe and all of the fun that there is to be had. But when we feel like our life is chaotic, it really detracts from this specialness that we want to really be a part of. You know, whether it's you're squabbling with your partner because someone forgot to RSVP to a party, or you're stressed and so then everyone in the house is just tense, or maybe you have extended family who comes to visit you, but they're going to feel neglected because you're too busy to engage. I know that all of this is unintentional, but it is what happens when we are operating from a place of stress rather than from a place of intention and calm. So I want you to think about how you could be communicating earlier and start planning to prevent some misunderstandings, to keep the peace. Maybe set up a family meeting early in November to just discuss holiday plans, responsibilities. This could be with you and your partner. It could even include your kids to some extent, where, you let them know what they're responsible for and help get some of those responsibilities on the calendar so they know what to anticipate and can contribute to everything additional that your family has to take on during this busy time of year. Now, additionally, I think we're all more than aware of the financial pitfalls and stress that come with the holiday season. Overspending on gifts and decor happens when we go into the holiday season without a plan, or if we wait till the last minute. I'm not going to deny it is easy to already spend more during this time of year than you do probably at other times of year. But then if you wait last minute, you really run the risk of buying expensive gifts because the budget-friendly options are sold out, or paying for that expedited shipping because you ordered gifts too late, or splurging on pre-made holiday meals because you didn't end up having time to cook. This really pushes that tendency to already spend so much into overspending because you're rushed. So I want you to think about how you could do some early planning that allows for you to budget and avoid overspending. Maybe you start shopping for gifts during the sales events that happen at Black Friday. But if you want to do that intentionally, you probably want to come up with a preliminary gift list like now or in the next couple of weeks, so that you really are intentional about, well, what is it that I'm looking for? And it really helps kind of cut out all the noise of those sales and really helps you stay laser focused on where you want to invest your money. And along with that, I'd say that when we're waiting till the last minute to make our purchases, or if we don't start thinking about gifts until late November or early December, depending on what holiday you're buying for, I feel like a lot of times we miss out on deals or other opportunities that could help us stay within our budget. So you don't want to miss out on those Black Friday deals, especially like the popular toys for kids. Often the best deals are happening during that Black Friday time. You might end up paying more for flights or accommodations if you're traveling over the holiday season. So you really should have that on your radar now if you want to save some money. And then you also could be missing out on early bird discounts for holiday events or activities. So think about some of the things, some of the traditions in your community that your kids like to be a part of, and make sure you try to grab those deals now rather than waiting till later when you're also risking those tickets being sold out altogether. All you're simply doing is moving your timeline up a little bit. You're not really having to do anything extra by doing that. You're just not waiting until the last minute, and it's automatically going to save you so much money. And then I think that something we often don't consider are those hidden costs of waiting, of delaying. We miss opportunities for experiences when we're procrastinating and complacent in telling ourselves, I have so much time, it's only October or it's only early November. We are fooling ourselves into believing that we have more time than we really do. I mean, you hit Halloween and then a few weeks later Thanksgiving, including Thanksgiving break. And then depending on when you celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas or any other important traditions for your family, those are usually happening sometime in the tail end of November and into December. You don't want to wait until that time crunch to get everything done because we're looking at a matter of only a few weeks. If you're allowing for the chaos to happen by not starting now, you miss out on meaningful family activities. You might not be able to go to local events that your family wants to do together because you're too busy shopping or cooking or wrapping gifts. Or you don't have time for the traditions that your family has, like baking some of your grandmother's cookie recipes with the kids. You might forego a holiday movie night because you're just too exhausted and stressed out. When you start planning ahead earlier, you're ensuring that you have time for what truly matters. And I think that at the end of the day, that matters so much more to us than anything else as moms. And so make sure that you schedule in those traditions now so that they're sacred and that you ensure that they do have that time on your calendar so that you don't overlook them. But if you don't plan that out now, you run the risk of really just foregoing them altogether. And then one other hidden cost of waiting until the last minute is that it just adds on to the day-to-day stress that we already are experiencing. You already have your most likely stressful everyday life as a busy mom. And when you are then piling an enormous amount of additional to-dos, stressors, and events that will take away from your time or your ability to be productive, it adds additional stress onto everything else that you already have going on in your life. Your workout routine might fall to the wayside, or you start eating convenience foods. It's easy to overlook activities or commitments that your family has because you're so overwhelmed by everything on your schedule. And that chaos just really creates this constant level of stress, which again, when you want to be intentional and present during such an important time of the year, it really then takes away from that ability to enjoy it because you're just so focused on how you're going to get everything done, how you're going to manage it all, and just wishing it would all be over so that you can go back to normal. I would love for you to instead start planning now so that you don't have to compromise and give up the things that matter the most to you. One quick exercise that I want to leave you with is so simple. I want you to leverage your past experience with the holidays and use it to your advantage this year. I want you to go back into your camera's photo roll, and I want you to find some pictures or videos from last year's holiday season, and I want you to really relive that moment and pick up on what do you love, first of all, about that tradition or that event or that little moment that was probably meaningful to you because you captured it, right? But I also then want you to not only think about why is it special or important to you, but then how are you feeling in that moment? And maybe how were you feeling in the time leading up to that moment? Were you really stressed out? Did you have a fight right before you headed out the door? Or did you forget to bring something along with you because you were scrambling? Really key in on how did that holiday season feel for you? And if it felt good, why did it feel good? What were you doing that was setting you up for success? If it didn't feel good, what was going on? And what could have been the precursors that caused that feeling or that experience for you? I think it'll really help you hone in on how do you want to feel this year during the holidays? And how can you ensure that you make that possible for you? You have so much time right now. It's the perfect opportunity to really set that intention, because from that intention can come so much natural motivation and inspiration to take the steps necessary to help you get there. So that might look like deciding that this year you're going to focus on quality time over elaborate events, or you want to set the goal to start shopping for gifts in November, or you want to commit to a self-care routine to manage holiday stress. Whatever it is, just make sure that it's right for you and it supports what you want the most for you and your family. We started off this episode talking about how the holidays, as magical as they can be, come with their own set of chaos. Emotional, financial, and let's not forget the impact on our family dynamics. But the good news is that you have the power to change the narrative this year. Remember to scroll through your camera roll and relive last year's holidays. This is not just about reminiscing, it's about learning from the past to make sure that this year's holidays are more intentional and, dare I say, easier. So if you started this episode thinking, why plan for the holidays in October? I hope you're walking away with a different perspective, one that's geared towards making the most out of this special time with your family without the last minute stress or emotional roller coasters. You've got this, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. If you found value in today's episode, I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to share your takeaways, your plans, or even your past mishaps. We've all had them, and there's so much that we can learn from each other. So be sure to send me a DM on Instagram, and remember to join my broadcast channel while you're there so that you can get those quick, actionable tips to help you start taking small steps in setting yourself up for holiday success. You'll find me at Mom Life Handbook, or I've dropped the link in the show notes. And then in next week's podcast episode, we're going to dive into some quick wins for a calmer holiday. So you won't want to miss out on that. I'm excited to help you make this holiday season one for the books, and for all the right reasons this time. And as we wrap up this week's podcast episode, remember, mom life is complex, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Here's to leading with purpose and intention as you simplify mom life in the week ahead. You've just finished another episode of the Mom Life Handbook podcast. Remember to check out the episode description for all the important links and highlights from today's show. While you're there, tap the subscribe button so that new episodes are always at your fingertips. Before you go, I'd really appreciate hearing your thoughts about the show. It takes as little as 30 seconds to leave a review, and your honest thoughts help me create a better show and help other moms discover it too. And if this episode really helped you out, go ahead and hit the share button to text it to a friend or share it on social media. You never know who in your life might benefit from a little extra support. Don't forget, there are lots of ways to stay connected beyond the podcast. Head over to momlifehandbook.com for additional resources or to learn about how to work with me. And be sure to follow along on Instagram at momlifehandbook. Send me a DM to say hey or to share your thoughts on today's episode. Connecting with you personally is what I really love most. And just in case you need to hear it today, you're doing an incredible job. I know it doesn't always feel like it, but you're here, learning how to be better and do better. Keep working to bring more intention and ease into your life, and know that I'm right here cheering you on. You're creating a beautiful journey for you and your family. I am so proud of you.